Kanisha.
Okay.
Okie dokie.
All right. Thank you, Beth.
The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi. Welcome to this webinar. My name is Beth Rugg from Ithaca College in New York. I'm the Professional Development Coordinator for SIGUCCS and will be helping to facilitate this event. Kanisha Etheridge is our guest, and she's going to be welcoming you all as first-time newcomers to our SIGUCCS conference. But before we jump into the webinar, I want to go over a few rules of the road. By default, everyone is muted, and that's mainly to cut down on any distractions or unplanned for interruptions. But there's two ways that you can ask questions, either by using the chat feature or by raising your hand. If you raise your hand, I will know you have a question or comment, and at the first opportunity, I will unmute you. So go ahead now and raise your hand. And this also lets me know that the technology is working. Great. Well, I see that about half of you raised your hand. Thank you so much for doing that. Now, another way that we can use ask questions, if you don't have a microphone available to you, just use the question feature. So I think you'll see that there's a little pod where you can type in a question or comment. I get to see that, and then either I'll answer it via chat privately, or if it's related to the discussion, I'll share it with Kanisha. So does anyone have any questions at this point that you want to submit via the chat pod? All right, great. I don't see anything coming in, so I'm going to turn it over to Kanisha. And to do that, I just need to change the presenter. So here you go, Kanisha. I'm turning it over to you.
Thank you, Beth. Hello, everyone. How are you doing today? Hope all is well and that you're excited to go to your first conference. Don't be nervous. I know how you feel. Last year, I was a first-timer myself, but this webinar is here to help you to understand and get familiar with the conference proceedings so you can get comfortable as you go towards your first conference in Memphis, Tennessee. I will begin my presentation. So today's webinar, Get Ready for SIGUCCS. I'm your first timers coordinator, Kanisha Etheridge. Last year was my first conference, and I volunteered, and now I'm a part of the planning committee. So if you want to consider me as a second timer, you could. So I'm also a novice as well, but I thought the first timers webinars last year was a great experience for me to get familiar with the conference. So I volunteered to do that part for you this year. The goals of this webinar are to familiarize yourself with the SIGUCCS lingo. So if you hear me mention abbreviations and so forth, you'll be on the same par and you'll understand what we're referring to. To help you get familiar with the conference, such as getting the most of the conference, what to do outside of the technical presentations, what to pack, etc. To inform you of volunteer opportunities, how you can get involved, and to answer any questions you may have about the conference. SIGUCCS lingo, to get you familiar with the little abbreviations that you'll hear from time to time. The SIGUCCS is a special interest group of the ACM. We specialize in university and college computing. This group allows you to have a community that you could discuss the same things that you're going through or experiencing in your IT departments at work. So you have a community that's like a backup for you if you have questions and so forth you could answer. So your SIG and UCCS represents the special interest group that we are. BOF, Birds of a Feather Sessions. You know the old adage proverb that says birds of a feather flock together. Well, with respect to SIGUCCS, we flock together based on topics that we're interested in. So that's you'll hear about BOFs as we go through. And first timer, which is what you are, and which I was last year. This meaning your first time attending the SIGUCCS conference. Sponsor. Those are vendors that market products and also help support in some way, such as events or dinners or luncheons and so forth. So they provide sponsorship. And you'll see them with different tables and different ads and promotional tools that they'll have to talk to you about things you could possibly implement in your schools and so forth. Any questions so far?
Not that I see, Kanisha.
Okay, I'll move on. Thank you, Beth.
Sorry, Jim has a question. Jim, let me unmute you. Go ahead, Jim.
I'm sorry, I was just putting my hand back down. I don't have a question yet. Thank you.
That's okay, but at least we know the process works.
Yes, you can mute me again. Thank you.
Thank you. Conference facts and figures. The conference is typically about 250. I think we're close to 270 participants, registered participants this year. We hopefully will have some more registrants. First timers, you make up approximately 30% of the conference attendees, and they're attendees from colleges all over, international institutions, and the positions or functions of these attendees range from CIOs to frontline staff. So you get a chance to interact and ask questions with different people at different levels in their respective organization. And you'll be surprised, lots of people are facing the same challenges that you are on your day-to-day jobs. Who is who with SIGUCCS? There's the executive board, there's the conference committee, and there are volunteers. You, me, the conference planners, the committee are the volunteers, and we actually make the conference work. So you can also be a part of it as well, and we'll talk about that later as we progress towards the end of the presentation.
Kanisha, and if I might just greet everybody, as I mentioned earlier, I am on the board and the professional development coordinator, so we are so excited as a board to have you with us.
Thanks.
Kanisha, Andrew might have a question as well. Andrew, I just unmuted you. Andrew, do you have a question?
I do not.
Okay, sorry about that.
Well, the technology is working, so.
Back over to you, Kanisha.
Okay, thank you. SIGUCCS, since last year, we have been combining the two sessions, the management sessions and the service and support sessions, and that ranges this year will run from October the 14th through the 19th. So the first part of the session will run from the 14th through the 17th, and then that's your management session. And then after that, you're on the 17th, the service and support session will kick into place. Now, some of you may have registered for the whole conference. Some of you may have registered for a part of it. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask the first timers coordinator if you're not sure where to attend or what. But you'll have the schedule and the Google Calendar and event boards that we'll talk about to help you organize your the activities that you do throughout the session or throughout the conference. So in the management session, there are several tracks that are developed, and they'll have presentations in the tracks of leadership, technical innovation, issues relating to management, and so forth. And then the service and support session will click into place with the tracks in customer support, documentation, and training, which that's kind of the area that I fall into in my organization: instructional support, management, technology, etc. The session formats are usually individuals, who have written papers and submitted. They'll make presentations about the specific topic that they have written about, spend a year or two to try to create a paper about that has been published, yay, successfully. But the discussions are not necessarily a user-led presentation per se, where the presenter is talking the whole session. It's more interactive, which I really enjoyed my first conference, which was last year in San Diego, where the presenters really took on more of a discussion format, where you get a chance to ask questions and give feedback, and even add to what they are presenting. And you may have a different perspective from what they are presenting in their sessions. So it's a good rapport to develop and to attend to get additional knowledge. or you may even see or learn how someone implemented something that you are thinking about doing at your school. So they're great. BOFs, as I mentioned before, Birds of a Feather sessions, where people who are interested in the same topics get together, talk about it. You can talk about it maybe after a session, or you can meet on the town and go for dinner and talk about those topics. And if you do not see a topic that you are interested in, you can create your own BOF. Hello?
Sorry, Kenesha, that was me. We have a participant who so I apologize for that.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes.
Okay, I apologize for that. So if there's a BOF session at the topic that you are interested in, but no one has created that BOF for, you can do that and sign up at the registration desk so you can meet with other people and maybe go for dinner and talk about that topic that is a pressing issue to you. So you'll hear and see a lot of BOFs as you are in the conference. There are several awards. The Penny Crane Award for Distinguished Service. There will not be one this year, from my understanding, but there will be calls for nominations for next conference. There are Hall of Fame awards. There are communication awards where individuals from different schools who have created different flyers and informational material of how they market or communicate their IT services to their campuses, and those winners have already been selected, but they will get a chance to present their publications and their flyers and so forth in the poster session. And you'll also get a chance to attend those and see the really great creative ideas that people have when to communicate IT resources and stuff to their campuses. And this is an example. This was from last conference in San Diego. There was a poster set, a presentation for, I think this is the 2013, so they're planning ahead and getting ideas for the upcoming future conferences. And then this is an example of another presentation from last conference. So you'll get a chance to walk around and view the different communication award winners' submissions. Do we have any questions?
I don't think so. Kenesha, just so everyone knows, I just sent a chat. Can everyone hear? I know we have at least one participant who's having a difficult time. So if people can just okay. All right, great. I'm getting feedback that others are able to hear, so it's not a
Okay.
global problem. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Beth. The SIGUCCS conference is about networking. Apart from attending the sessions, you get the chance to meet and discuss with colleagues and from different schools all over the world who are facing the same issues and problems, but in a less of an informal environment, if you may. So you get to take your ties off, so to speak, or your suits, and get relaxed and get to talk to people, still in a professional manner, but you get to create new friends, and you might create lifetime bonds with individuals that you meet at the conference. And there are different opportunities to network. We'll have orientation sessions for volunteer groups, for first-timers again, but there's also the hospitality suite, and there are also different events like luncheons and a gala event that you'll get to attend and really build a bond with individuals in your field. And these are a snapshot. This presents a snapshot of the different orientation sessions and events that are scheduled. So there'll be an opening reception on Sunday. On Tuesday, we have the first-timer sessions where we'll get to meet face-to-face and get to know each other and maybe have time for surprises and games during that session. There's also an orientation session for those of you who have volunteered to be session chairs, volunteers, and then that Tuesday evening there'll be a little reception as well. Then the following Wednesday, there'll be a luncheon for us from noon to about 1:30, and you'll get to have a nice lunch with your friends that you meet, and again, you keep the discussions rolling about IT issues and topics that you are interested in. And then Thursday night will be our gala event on the rooftop at the Peabody Hotel. Every night, there's a hospitality suite for you to, as the theme for this conference is IT all shook up. So there'll be different things that you could do, like board games and snacks and visit with your friends. And this usually runs from 9 p.m. to about midnight. And sometimes there are little surprises and trivia games that they play during the hospitality suite time slot. If you have special dietary needs and for some reason you didn't mention that when you registered for the conference, please let your server know breakfast or lunches and the gala event, because we want to make sure that you're enjoying the conference, but if the food isn't great, that puts a downer on the whole conference. So we want to make sure you enjoy a whole round. You get food for your belly and technical food as well. So please let your server know if you didn't mention that, and they'll try to make provisions for you. Do we have any questions about that? Hello?
Hi, Kenesha, it's Beth. I don't see anybody who has their hand raised yet. Or
Okay.
questions coming in.
Okay. Apart from attending the sessions, take this opportunity to explore Memphis. Memphis is, I'm looking forward to Memphis-style barbecue. But you can have dinner and lunch on the town with your new friends, old friends, and the Peabody Hotel is in an area where there's lots of activity. There's Beale Street, there's the Memphis Rock and Soul Museum, there's the National Civil Rights Museum, and so forth. So you can also make time and go with your new friends. Be careful though where you're going, and go to explore the area. What to pack? I know I had that question last year. It's a very business casual type environment. SIGUCCS people tend to be very relaxed, so please try to dress comfortably. The average weather temperature, the average weather in Memphis is 75 degrees high, 52 low. You don't want to be too hot. Best thing is to probably dress in layers, so in case you're getting too hot, you can peel some of your layers off. Bring your business cards so you can share that with your new friends. College, t-shirts, sweatshirts, mobile devices. Although we want you not to be so into your mobile device so you don't get a chance to meet other people, but you could bring those, especially with our new app, the event board that we'll talk about later, that will help you to stay organized at the conference. And also, if you don't pack anything, make sure you pack your motivation to have a good time. And you'll see how much fun this conference and informative this conference will be. As I mentioned before, there are different ways to keep you organized while at the conference. This year, SIGUCCS has employed the use of new online tools, Event Board, which is a free mobile app that you can use to keep organized at the conference, where you can see all the sessions, and they're already loaded. I think I already sent you the email with the link, but they're already loaded there, and you can select the sessions that you plan to attend. So at any given time, you can look at your mobile device using the Event Board app and see, okay, what session is coming up, what presenter or what track do I want to follow while I'm at this conference. And it also allows you to send feedback, quickly do feedback on the sessions, the speakers that you've listened to and attended. There's also the Google Calendar. That multiple calendars are set up in Google, but they'll collectively give you an entire conference schedule. And there are the links that you could go to download those calendars. We'll also have this presentation linked on the conference's website, so you can get that information as well. And I'll also send you emails, and I'll send you an email again with the links to the event board app and the Google Calendar. Do we have any questions so far?
Yes, I believe we have one. Andrew is wondering, do we have to commit to a specific track?
Not necessarily. It would be good to stick with a track so you can get different perspective and different ideas, but you can mix and match the sessions that you plan to attend.
Yeah, Andrew, this is from Beth. My perspective, I just go to whatever I'm interested in learning about, as long as it's not overlapping. That's where my problem comes, when two interesting sessions at the same time.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned that, Beth, about overlapping, and that event board app is really a great way to keep track of what's next and to keep them separated, so you know exactly what's happening within that, because within each time frame there are multiple sessions going on. So that app is really a great tool to keep you organized. And that'll help you to see when you have some free time as well if you want to go out for lunch on the town. So that's a good way as well. Any more questions?
One more just came in.
Okay.
Can you tell us, or will you be telling us a bit about the newcomers orientation on Tuesday from 5 to 7?
Yes, the newcomers orientation will be similar to what we have here in terms of the information that's being presented, but this will give you a chance to actually meet the newcomers and to meet some of the members of the planning committee, and we'll also have surprises for you as well. So that will be on.
I'm sorry, is the session 2 hours from 5 to 7, or I think it's been shortened, hasn't it?
Yes, it's 5 to 6. So that will make provisions for those who have volunteered, because there's also a volunteer session. So it will be the newcomers from 5 to 6, and then the session chairs from 6 to 6:30, then the volunteers orientation from 6:30 to 7. So we'll just have an hour to meet and greet in ours.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And can you confirm the receptions from 7 to 9?
Yes, that's correct.
And I'll put a plug in here. I'm also the volunteer coordinator, so if anybody's interested in volunteering, helping out at the registration desk, just send me an email, and I will send you access to a Google Doc.
And
one more question here, and Lori Fox may also have an answer for this as well. But Inga, I believe, is having issues accessing the Google Calendar. Inga, can you give us any more specifics about that? Shows the object not found. Lori, let me unmute you just in case. I think Lori set that up, so in case Lori has anything to say about that.
Actually, Lori did not set that up, but let me look at it myself. Did she go directly to the Google link?
Yes.
Okay. I think I'll just have to take note of that and pass it along to Alan.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry I spaced and couldn't remember who set that up. So Inga, we'll work on that for you and we'll follow up with you. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. Lori, I'm just going to go ahead and mute you again, if that's okay.
Okay, thanks.
Sorry, Kenesha.
yeah, that's okay. Thank you all for being on here with me to help field those questions as well.
And I don't see any other questions? Not at the moment, Kenesha.
Okay. We have utilized other online resources as well to stay tuned with the conference, especially after the conference, but also a chance to follow what's going on with individuals that are attending the conference. So there's a Facebook page, SIGUCCS, at SIGUCCS at SIGUCCS 12, Flickr, Foursquare, LinkedIn, another great tool to stay connected with individuals that are part of SIGUCCS. So you can subscribe and join those as well. Volunteering.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kanisha. Could you just back up quickly to the slide with the Google Calendar information on it? Thank you. I think Lori Fox is just going to try to copy that link.
Well, this link is to the conference website, and the links to the individual Google calendar should be loaded on the website.
All right. I think Lori was having problems finding them, but we'll follow up with that later. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Volunteering. This is a great way for you to connect with individuals at the conference. You can volunteer to review papers, stuff goodie bags, work at the conference registration desk. That's what I did last year to kind of get my foot in, to kind of get to know people. And I've met several people and created friendships from volunteering. You can serve as a session chair and to set up or clean up before, after the conference. And as Beth mentioned, you can send her an email, or there's the link to the volunteer form on the conference's website. That is an excellent way if you're kind of unsure, if you're still unsure what to do, when to do, who to talk to, don't know how to start. That is a great way to get to know people by volunteering. Any other questions for me?
I don't see that anyone else has their hand raised or any chat questions come in. Maybe we have one question here. Lori McCracken, I'm going to unmute you. Lori, do you have a question? Probably not. Yeah, I don't think she had a question. So I think we're good, Kanisha.
Okay. Well, I thank you for taking the time to join us at this webinar to get familiar with the conference. I hope the information presented really helped you to kind of understand the proceedings of the conference. And I've sent you emails before. You have my email address. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer it. If I do not know the answer, I'll get the answer for you. Again, I'm a second timer, if you may. So last year I was in your shoe, and I look forward to meeting you and seeing you in Memphis. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon. Thank you.
Ditto from Beth. I'm looking very forward to meeting you at the newcomers reception. And there should be a recording of this. It'll be on the website. I'll let Kanisha know when that's available. Thank you all.